Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming. I will have to apologise first. I am coming down with a lurgy a bit. I was intending to do the voiceover tomorrow, but I figured make hay when the sun shines and before it entirely fucks me over, I will endeavour to put the video together. But if there's any sniffs or snorts or anything like that going on, that's the reason why. So today we are taking a look at the latest Sony port to PC, and that is Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection, which includes Uncharted 4, Thieves End, and Uncharted The Lost Legacy. Now, I have played and completed both of these games before on PS4. We actually reviewed Uncharted 4 on the channel when it came out. I think that was about 6 years ago, somewhere around there. Time flies when you're not getting subs. But yeah, I mean, both Snare and I were very positive on it. I felt like it went on a little bit too long, personally. That could just be where I was finishing the game the day before we were going to review it. So I couldn't go to bed until I'd done it, so of course it felt like it dragged. But I have finished it again on PC. I haven't finished The Lost Legacy on PC, although I did previously on PS4. They're both great games. The graphical upgrades that they received, to be fair, they look great on PS4 anyway. I know this is a port of the PS5 remaster, so anything in sort of upgraded from there will be in here, and you'll have greater range of selectability. I'm running it at 1440p, everything absolutely maxed out. And you can see it generally gives me over 100 frames a second. Although I have noticed that it's slightly less well performing on the Lost Legacy, but only by a few frames. I haven't really dipped below 60 on either of them. One thing I will say about the PC version, it does sort of buffer the assets when you first load it, which can take a while. You are able to play the game while it's doing it, but you may run into some graphical problems. Like in the start of Uncharted 4, the lightning was this huge bloom. It wasn't really lightning, it was just blowing out my screen every time it went off. So, you know, you can start it, but you may see some weird shit. It does take a while to complete, about 15 minutes. You will need to do it after you update your graphics drivers, and both games require it, because although the main menu has both games on it, the one that you select if you weren't playing it, it essentially quits the program and loads that one instead, so it's like its own thing, really. You will also find that occasionally, if you crash, it will also have to buffer the assets again. So, not ideal, but I mean, this is something that we've seen before. It was on Horizon Zero Dawn, I believe, and it took a long time to do that, and you couldn't play the game while it was doing so. So it's better this time around, at least. I did experience quite a few crashes. Straight to desktop, different points in the game. It actually happened like right at the start of Lost Legacy when I was capturing footage. I figured I'd capture the Lost Legacy footage because, you know, we've already got Uncharted 4 footage on the channel. Yeah, it's just a straight crash to desktop. You get a little PlayStation, we'll report your crash report thing come up. Yeah, it's like, okay. I think that happened about 4 times overall during my playtime of Uncharted 4. I believe that took me around 15 hours to complete. And it's happened in the first like 10 minutes of Legacy of Thieves. It doesn't seem to be persistent at the points it crashes though, so I don't know what's going on. Certainly my PC exceeds minimum spec, and you know, the frame rate it's putting out indicates that it's doing fine with it. The games themselves aren't massively different. I did notice a few physics hiccups, to be fair, I haven't seen it on Legacy of Thieves yet, but sorry, The Lost Legacy. Yeah, there's just so many. There's 3 titles and they all have similar words. It's very confusing for me. But there were instances where Drake's legs and arms would become confused. Like you would jump onto a ledge, he'd grab it, but he'd grab it in a way his arm looked like it was dislocated because it was kind of coming around the wrong way. So there's a few It doesn't happen very often, but it looks quite funny when it does. There's like ones where it looks like, well, he looks like he's paraplegic. Sometimes when he's hanging, his legs are just like weirdly, unnaturally twisted a little bit and just don't move. They're just like dead weights. It's kind of weird, but as I said, it doesn't happen very often, but it was noticeable for me. The game looks great. It runs pretty well outside of the crashes and the physics hiccups. As I said, I was getting like plus 100 from most of my playtime. Obviously, it depends upon the scene, and it will go down. I think the lowest it went down was it clipped about 70 at one point. But outside of that, looks good. The original looked great as well, though. So, and that was on a PS4.
Not for long.
The obvious thing you'd want this for would be the superior frame rate, because I believe the PS4 versions were both locked at 30. There is the option to lock it at 30 if you'd like that original experience, which I have no idea why you would, because more frames are better. There's just no way around it. It's ridiculous to claim anything else. But yeah, I mean, I like Uncharted 4. As I said, I think it's a bit overlong, and there's a few areas in it which I get to, and I'm just like, oh god, yeah, this bit where it's a bit maze-like. I didn't like the Scottish Highlands bit, and one of the pirate villages that you go to is just a fucking maze. Eventually, if you run around enough, it will give you a hit and show you where to go, but it takes its sweet time to give that to you. The Lost Legacy. Well, I picked up originally. I think it was like quite cheap. I think it was like 25 quid when I picked it up on PS4. And I was a little bit worried that it was going to be just like, yes, it's got women in, so you know, enough of that stupid Drake. We have women now, and it's not really like that. I mean, it helps that the characters that are in it. You've got Chloe and Nadine. You've been introduced to them before, and to be fair, you know, I liked Chloe originally. I didn't like Nadine because she was a complete bitch in Uncharted 4, but you get to see the softer side of her sort of gradually break through. So it's kind of nice character development, and you know, it's just more Uncharted just with a different protagonist, and I was kind of okay with that. What I didn't want them to do was do an Uncharted 5 with Cassie, who is Drake's daughter. I'm just like, if you do that, it's just going to be Tomb Raider, isn't it? You can't really do that. So I don't know if that explains why they never bothered. But I was just like, I really don't want a Tomb Raider sort of clone from Uncharted. It's already kind of like ish. It's kind of like it copied Tomb Raider, and then Tomb Raider copied it right back for the newer Tomb Raider games. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously done by Naughty Dog, who have not covered themselves in glory, in my opinion. We're certainly the last release, and a lot of the things they've come out and said, and obviously the way they behave towards the leaks and anyone reporting on the leaks, even if they didn't show footage, was very draconian and lost them a lot of fans. And I actually own The Last of Us Part 2 now. I got it for 20 quid on sale. I was never ever going to pay anything above 20 quid for it. And I basically played it, shall we say, up to the golf session. And I don't really want to play anymore. I mean, I've had it for about 6 months now, and I played it up to about that point within about 4 days of getting it. And that was really about it. I mean, I just don't want to play it because I don't like Ellie anymore. She was almost like a little proto Drake in the first game. She was, you know, smart and snappy and funny and sarcastic and all of this, and now she's just miserable and angry and just a horrible person to be around. So I'm just like, well, if I'm not going to be with Joel, I'm either going to be with this misery guts of Ellie, or I'm going to be, you know, playing Joel's killer. Yeah, it's like, she's good enough, one of my favourite characters. I really want to play her. I don't really want to play any more of it. So I suppose I got, yeah. I probably will force myself to go back and finish it and play it through, but not for right now. Maybe maybe in a time where I've got absolutely nothing else to play and I don't want to replay anything else. I'll probably end up doing it. I mean, I have bought it digitally, so you know it's there forever now, basically, or until PlayStation Network shut down or something. But yeah, I kind of wanted there. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, certainly outside of that, Uncharted 4 and The Lost Legacy, it's going to give you a solid probably 25 hours of gameplay. It's going to be good fun. It is full price, so it's 50 quid or 70 quid, I guess, on PlayStation. Who knows? I haven't been to get on PlayStation. But I didn't buy it at all. Once again, my sugar daddy Bungle provided me the review copy, so hats off to him for having far too much money and far too little sense. But, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. So, guys, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection. I enjoyed it immensely playing through it again. The last time I tried it on my PS5 as like a PlayStation Essential thing from the PlayStation Network. So I got it for essentially the PS4 version for 3. And yeah, well, I kind of got to the Scottish Highlands and remembered it, and I was like, oh, I don't really want it. But I pushed through it on here, and I'm glad I did. I enjoyed playing it again. I still think it is a little bit too long. It's kind of like you're kind of ready for the game to be over like 2 chapters before the end, and the ending is a bit. It's a bit low key, shall we say, in my opinion. And then you've got the prologue as well. So they just keep going in there. Then of course you can't skip the end credits. So if you want to see this, if you want to know if there's anything after the end credits that you need to not skip it to see, no, there's not. Just quit out of the game at that point. You don't have to wait to the end. I've done it for you. There you go. But yes, Uncharted always has been a good game, remains as such on PC. It's a decent port. There's a few issues with it, as I said, crashing to desktop. I never lost a huge amount of progress. I don't know whether I just got lucky or whether it's got a really good save point system. And, you know, you've got the physics bits, but they don't turn up very often, and they're kind of funny when they do happen. It doesn't hurt the gameplay, it just looks kind of weird. So, yeah, I would, if you've not played it, I would highly recommend getting it. It's a little weird that they decided to do 4 and like the spin-off rather than 1, 2 and 3, the Nathan Drake collection. But I think what they're probably doing with that is they're going to remaster 1, 2 and 3 at some point for PS5, and then at that point port it over to PC. But I would have liked, you know, you don't have to have played the previous games to get it, but I mean, certainly because Sam's not basically mentioning the previous games, he just comes out of nowhere. But seeing, you know, Sully and Elena's backstory, and of course when you go into The Lost Legacy, you don't know who the bloody hell Chloe is because she's not in 4. You obviously know Nadine because she is in 4, but you know, unless you like getting slapped around, you probably don't like her much in that. So guys, I'm going to leave it there. There's not a whole bunch to say. I will put a link to our original Uncharted review in the description down below if you want to check that out. That give you both Snare's and my own opinion on the actual sort of game. But I mean, it's the same game. It's just more frames, slightly better graphics. So you know, if you want to put your money down for that, you can do. If you haven't played it, highly recommend it. Anyway, guys, that's it for this week. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.